Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother in the struggle, in the spiritual struggle, coming right back at you. To kind of give you some updates and to also inform you. If this is your first watching these videos, my channel, let me just tell you, I'm a soldier of God. I am a messenger of God with love for my human brethren out there. I love humanity regardless of your color. See, because when you are at this level, you don't see colors. You only see creation. You don't see people from different countries. I just see humanity as one on one planet. And this is the very essence of the message that I bring about here. But before we get there, we must understand as to why we are in the situation we are and how is the future looking for all humanity. Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the transition process of the humankind reset. Believe it or not. Do you want to know what's well, see my links. I'm gonna send you some links. I want to show you what the reset means. It is another fancy name because they're good at names and the psychological effect that it has on the human mind. Okay? They have a lot of destruction word. For instance, racism, systematic racism, and all of that. Okay? So here we are. Let us start. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, let me tell you, you may find this message that I'm about to share with you, but hopefully the links will help you understand. You may find this message kind of weird, kind of strange, but the reality is that we are living in strange and interesting time in human history. And I don't want you to be one of the victims that is going to be dragged by the evil spirit that have worked humanity for the longest. He has always worked humanity for each purpose. And he has thrown everything but the table at us. And we have reacted to it, and we have fallen under its wheels, under its evil will. And we are being pressed on, and we are being destroyed. All you got to do is look at human history. All the wars, all the diseases, all the pandemic, all the hungry, people dying of hunger throughout the whole world. Okay, of all the diseases, like the AIDS virus, like cancer, you name it. Now, let me begin by sharing with you that I'm only here to talk about the creator of all creations, whose real name is what? I am that I am, which in Hebrew means Ahaya, Asha, Ahaya. Let us begin. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in two parallel realities. One that has been shaped, packed, and delivered to you by men, which is composed of deceit, manipulation, social conditioning through their mediums of shaping your minds and hearts, which in the end has brainwashed a whole generations upon generations through our history, which comes to you through your television set in our days and cell phones. Back in the past, it was just straight up demon possessions. And we have that as well. But it's being smart about it. It's using its mediums, which is television and cell phones. If you don't have no control over these two things, they will control your very existence and will shape your very thoughts. So they use this medium of shaping your minds and heart, which in the end has brainwashed a whole generations upon generation, which comes to you through your television sets and cell phones. Technology was long being held by the fallen angels, but now it has been let loose on humanity to cause suffering, harm, and death. Okay? Let me just tell you a little bit about America and its political system. Okay? First of all, let me just tell you this, and please do not believe me, ladies and gentlemen. Do your research. Your vote don't count. Your vote don't count, but they want you to believe this lie. See, you got to understand that on a psychological level, and there are a lot of psychological level, if you believe a lie, they control you. They can manipulate you. They can work your mind. Okay? They can shape your very being under this matrix that we are living under. Believe it. And by the way, it is a satanic matrix, which is we are living in the last days, whether you want to believe it or not. Here we go. So your vote don't count, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the false reality that they want you to believe. See, this year's election, or the 2020 election, which in reality is an every 4-year ritual to rile up and to divide and conquer the masses that have been worked with this pandemic, which have brought up frustrations to the boiling point, with lockdowns, needless lockdowns, the use of masks, hiding the demons among us. And not to mention the recent police shootings to bring about the fear factor. By the way, the pandemic is slowly coming back again in Europe, except Sweden. But let me just tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. How can this be? When all of Europe was on lockdown, they look at that like a deserted continent. So if lockdown works, then why are we keeping lockdowns? If lockdown works, then why are the numbers of this pandemic coming up in Europe? Now, you can fact check all you want. You can fact check that information all you want. Look at your news. It is even in the mainstream media. Okay? Because this is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Viruses has always existed. Just as long as as soon as we fell from God, from the grace of the Creator, when we disobeyed Him, we became a living virus. In fact, the coronavirus has been around for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. This virus that we are dealing with right now has been around for the longest. Anyway, here we go. So, and not to mention the recent police killings to bring about the fear factor into the mix. to make sure that their hate groups, because there are hate groups out there, ladies and gentlemen, to destabilize the American society against itself, which is the very first sign of a society destined for self-destruction. Then there's the other and real reality, which is what it is. It's called the great I am factor, the God reality, which created everything that there is, even the fallen angels, which has worked humankind against this very same creator, the great I am. America is living in a very pivotal and dangerous time on its way to the precipice of the abyss. On its ways to the abyss, ladies and gentlemen, of its own making, for spoiling and poisoning its young people's hearts and minds for what? For power and money, for benefits? Well, now it is feeling the pain. In fact, I work for the government, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. I work for the government. Okay? I have worked for the government for what? For about 8 years now. And I can tell you, the government is blind. It's not in its best interest to go to the root of humanity's problems. Okay, because the minute it starts to go down that list, it will be completely taken out. No, you cannot. You only deal with the consequences, with the effects. You don't tell the people what's causing all the problems. In fact, you help it. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Government is not interested in solving people's problem, which is in its very essence, they are spiritual in its nature and in its essence. It's like a doctor. You think a doctor will be interested in curing your diseases? In getting rid of all the diseases, even if they have the power to do that? But it won't be in the best interest to do that. You see? So the same thing applies here. So here we go. So America is living in a very pivotal time. And now it has, and because for spoiling and poisoning its young people's heart and minds and religions has become irrelevant, for they control them too. The religious concept came out of government itself. It came, ladies and gentlemen, it came out of three. Okay, let me just tell you, it came in the year, for instance, the Roman Catholic Church was created back in the Council of Nicaea in the year of 325 after Christ, with the Emperor Constantine. Okay, Constantine created these religions. Okay. Okay. So your religion has become irrelevant because they control it. If they are relevant, how come you're not conducting services in your churches? You mean that if your church is actually belongs to the Creator, the one that created all of creation, including us upon this planet. You mean to tell me that he's going to allow man who just got here, okay, and who is a little thing compared to our Creator, okay, which is nothing. We are nothing in the sight of God, okay? You mean he's going to allow that? He was going to, of course not, because religions are man-made concept inspired by the fallen angels to deceive humanity. Let us continue. So I don't talk religions here. What I talk about is what Yahushua or Yahasha, Yahshua, which is the name of Christ, the true name of Christ, what he actually talked about, which is a way of life. Okay? That's why he said it on Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. Let those who wants to follow me deny themselves. Because what we have become, we are nothing. We are worthless things. We are just the result of this world's evil influences. That's why you see so many people dying left and right. The devil just he's rifled away our lives, and God has given the power for him to do that. But only for the people that are not awakened. I am a soldier of God. So the day I'm taken out of this world is because it is God's will, not the devil's will. But right now, the devil's will is playing with people's mind. That's why you see a lot of stuff happening. And crime will increase every day, ladies and gentlemen. But do not be afraid, okay? If you don't believe me that the religions are controlled by the masters, by the Jesuits who actually control this planet, if you don't believe me, just watch what the Pope is going to do on October 3rd. It's going to be a union bringing all of the world's religions, which, by the way, are called Protestant because they all came out of the mother religion, which is the Roman Catholic Church. Believe it or not. If you don't believe me, do your research on Martin Luther, which, by the way, founded the Lutheran Church. It's sad, but they still worship on the day of the Sunday. They still follow their mother. All of them. So just watch what he's going to do on October 3rd, bringing all of the world's religions called Protestant under its wings once again. The chicken are coming home to roost. And then on October 15, the Pope is launching a global education alliance called Laodicea, which will bring world leaders, educators, and different organizations and religious leaders, getting them ready for the Antichrist system, the world new order, and what I call the humankind reset. And you are going to sit there and tell me that this pandemic that we're having, the recent police shootings, the economic destruction of many countries, including of the United States, the many organizations destroying many businesses, and them at the same time being supported by this very company. Okay, let me give you an example. Target was looted in the Minneapolis riots, and then was recently again looted in downtown Minneapolis. And guess what happened? Target contributes to those very same organizations. Now you may say, Ruben, wait a minute. Whoa. This doesn't make any sense. Welcome to the upside down world that we live in. But let me give you a reason why they're doing that. Let me just give you the reason. Okay? It is to psychologically work the masses to self-destruct. Okay? Which, by the way, are mainly God's people. The real Israelites. Okay? To psychologically work them up. To rile them up. To say, hey, I got you. You stole from my store, but I still got you. In other words, you broke the 10 Commandments. You got 10 Commandments, but it's okay. I got your back. Getting the people ready to be destroyed. Because when you destroy these 10 Commandments, forget about human relationships. You have a rotten relationship with your Creator. And that's a big problem. Because then you become the devil's own. You're the devil's toy, believe it or not. And that's what people has become nowadays. Then let us not forget the miraculous vaccine coming in the horizon, made out of what? And I'm going to send you a link on this. Embryonic cells from aborted babies. It is you mean that all of this is a total coincidence? As Biden would say it. Come on, man. Okay? Let's get real here. Okay? Let's get real here. I am only here to give you the truth. Are you ready for the truth? Because if we were created by a God called evolution, then we are in deep trouble. There is no hope for humanity. Because this evolution God didn't leave no instructions. You on your own. Right? No wonder people live in survival of the fittest. Humanity has become its own joke, being played on itself. It has become this is the most clownish generations out of all human generations. We are living in the last day. We have become such as silly rabbits. Tricks are made for kids. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you to three verses or 4 verses of the Bible. Let's see if I got enough time. First of all, let us go to Isaiah Isaiah 14, chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the side of the north. 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no hell. but there will be a hell. And it is being prepared right now. In fact, it is already prepared. But when you got to wait for the second death, for judgment day, for we all going to have to be part of the day of reckoning, and we are going to go in front of God and see and tell him what we have done with this life. Okay, let us go to Amos. Amos 3. Now, you may say, well, what are we going to Amos for, Ruben? Okay, let me just tell you. Let me find it so that I can tell you. Because right there, the Bible is going to be talking specifically.
I found these results.
It's going to be talking specifically to his people. I'm talking about everybody on this earth. Look at this. Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, all children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, 2, verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. 3, can two walk together except they be agreed? You understand? The Israelites, which are composed of the Native Americans, which is the tribe of God, G-A-D, the tribe of Judah, which are the Negroes, but then again, that's not their name, Negroes, tribe of Judah. Okay, people are not ready for the truth, ladies and gentlemen. That's why my channel has so low visibility out there. Okay, now let us go to chapter 16, verse 24. I think I got a little bit of time here. Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. Then Yahushua said unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. So you are trying to save your life, right? No one wants to die, right? So that's why you put your mask on, right? But if you was living in the right way, you don't need no mask. Why? Because, and I'm sure that I may get in trouble with YouTube, but I want you to understand that I'm talking from a standpoint of biblical studies. Okay? So please, YouTube, do not delete this video. Do not remove this video, okay? Because I'm talking about what it says here. See, if you live in the Creator's term, in fact, if you eat even the food that he talks about in the Bible, you will not get sick. You won't need nothing. I don't remember the last time I went to a doctor. And I will never remember because he is my doctor. And this is what I love sharing here, because I want people not to get sick. I want people to repent of their sins and to look for God. That's all. I'm not here to hate speak or tell people, oh no, I want you to get sick. No, don't put a mask. If you want to put a mask on, go ahead. I'm just telling you that when you live in God's way of life, you don't need none of the things that man tell you to do. Okay? Now, let us go to the very last book of the Bible, Revelation 17. And that will be the last verse, by the way. chapter 17, verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots, and an abomination of the earth. Verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Okay? So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to... No, I want to make a better world. But it is too late for this world. Because religions got most minds. Education have brainwashed the masses. Okay? And politicians have divided the masses. This is the most divided. This is the time, the most that America has been divided by its own politicians. It is sad. You got the Democrats on one side, and then you got the Republicans on the other. Republican. See, I don't vote. I don't bother because my kingdom is